good win last night. Really excited about the way we, competed and against a really good football team. I was, obviously the second half really pleased with the way we came out, and that first drive I think was a huge part of that game last night in the third quarter, where we went down the field and got the touchdown right out of the dressing room. And I think that's what you like to see from your team, is how they respond at halftime, and our guys did a great job of that. I thought our running backs ran hard. Obviously Bowser, RJ, and those two guys got the bulk of the carries, but they did a great job running between the tackles. It was a physical game. They loaded the box on us and had a lot of guys down close, so those two guys did a great job. Obviously, Javon Baker, I thought he was impressive, made a lot of contested catches, one-on-one catches, and really he does a great job of catching the ball in traffic and snatching the ball really out of the air, and I think that was impressive with him. Colby Hudson showed up, had a couple big catches, so I thought John Rhys settled in very nicely there in the second half, ended up with a really impressive game. I think he was 20 of 29, which is anytime you do that in college football games, pretty good. Did a great job with decision making in the RPO game and so forth. So just really overall, I like how our offense responded last night. We knew we were playing a team that had a really explosive offense, and we needed to make sure we made our possessions count, and make sure that we possessed the ball some. And I thought the second half we did that. We were able to take control of the game. The defense kept getting stops, and it just kind of worked out for us. And I really liked the way our O-line gelled there in the second half too. I thought we started leaning on them a little bit, and they played really physical. And that was a really big key for us, to have some of those extended drives and get points out of it, which is something we've really been stressing. So really excited for our guys and being pleased with it. And obviously we got a week now to prepare and get ready for another conference game next Thursday night, but a good way to get started in the conference. Questions?
Peeling it back in that second half, what do you think was the primary difference, which is simplifying everything in terms of plays? Was John Rhys recognizing things a little bit better, maybe than he had in the first quarter? What do you think was the main difference? I
think simplifying things. They played us different than obviously they had shown, which was something that you have to always anticipate. But I think once we got to halftime, was able to make some adjustments. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Kind of narrow things down a little bit, make it really simple as we could from a standpoint. Basic football sometimes still wins, right? It's throwing and catching, blocking and tackling and those things. But I think that was really the key. They were going to make us earn it by putting extra guys down in the box, and we just kind of narrowed some things down and try to make it as simple as we can. And then it comes down to our players executing. They did a really good job. We threw it and called it well.
You mentioned the offensive line briefly in your opening statement.
Yeah.
What did you think of their overall performance a little bit further, and what do you want to see from them moving forward?
Overall, I thought it was a good performance from them. I think we're always looking for that perfect game, but I think finishing blocks is something we get on the hat sometimes, but we have to finish. And it's not just the O-line; it's tight ends when they insert, it's running backs. A lot of different people are involved in each scheme. So I think for that group, just continuing to gel. Still got a couple new guys up there that are getting their feet wet, so to speak, with Tylen. And even though Ryan's played a lot, he played in a different system there at Virginia. So I think Sam's playing a new position. So just continuing to improve there, and they did. I think in the second half you saw that we started getting really good push up front. Our double teams were much better. Our kickouts were better than they were in the first half. As far as getting our pad level down, inside out on our kickouts. So I think those are really good positive things as we watch the film today with them that we'll continue to improve on.
For a coach, how happy is it when you see yards after catch?
Yeah, it's exciting for sure. And that's what, I think college football, when you look around, it's, the old days of catching open throws and then falling down, those aren't exciting plays anymore. You need guys that have the ability to make 50-50 catches down the field, and then when they get the ball in their hand, actually do something with it, yards after the catch, so to speak. And Javon has a knack for doing that. He's a big physical receiver. I think that helps with him. He's strong. Guys shake off of him, and he attacks the ball in the air. Kobe showed some of that as well last night. So and then obviously you got a guy like Ryan O'Keefe who can really run, and it's a different type of receiver, but equally as effective. The first guy never gets him. It seems like he always makes that first guy miss. Coach Malzahn said that a million times, and he's right. And so that's a good combination for us, and we've got to continue to get those guys opportunities.
Wanted to ask you about John Rhys and maybe his ability to work against against zero coverage. I know earlier in the year there were some struggles against it, and Gus said last night that SMU played a lot of the first half. How do you think he adjusted, and what main changes he made against that particular scheme?
Yeah, I think what he's, zero coverage as far as low quarters, not necessarily all out pressure, but that zero look or that cover 4 low. I think he's just getting more and more familiar with his receivers, as well as making good decisions in the RPO game, when to throw it, when to hand it. I think you saw that show up. And the one thing that I think goes unnoticed with him is he'll make plays when they break down. He'll get, leave the pocket, and there was a couple times we had some leakage in the protection, and he escaped. I think he made a throw out to Colby once, and also a throw out to Javon once where he escaped. And a lot of guys aren't able to do that. So that's, for him, I think continuing to grow from that standpoint of just, understanding what trajectory you put on balls versus certain looks, whether throw it out in front, whether to back shoulder it or whatever. I think the throw he made down the sideline to Javon on a 3rd down, that's as good a throw as you can see. He threw it right by the guy's ear to Javon. Javon made a great catch. So just continuing to get reps and get more and more comfortable with his wideouts.
What kind of game like that for Colby Hudson do for him moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's good. I know he was smiling in the locker room after the game, came up, gave him a big hug, smiling, and I think he felt good to get back in the flow, so to speak. And it's good for him. I think it was good for him to see some of the hard work and things he's gone through pay off for him, and hopefully he'll keep doing that. We need him to keep getting better as the season plays out.
What's a game like that do for the offense in general? He's been run heavy some games. The passing wasn't maybe as there in some past months, but everyone seemed like they get involved. Everyone got touches and made plays. That's got to be a big confidence booster for those guys.
Yeah,
None of those guys want to touch the ball.
I think so. Yeah, everybody wants to touch the ball for sure. But football's still a team game, and the most important thing is winning the football game. And like they loaded us down heavy. And obviously, we got some runs on the perimeter and then some throws down the field versus the one-on-one stuff. And, some teams will play zone, some teams play man. And, we need to be, obviously on offense, our goal is to be flexible and to be balanced somewhat where we can take what the defense gives us, so to speak, and we get, a light box, we need to be able to run it, and get a heavy box, be able to throw it. And, we're continuing to improve in that area. And it's a good confidence builder for sure.
T-Will's defense is 15 of 19 keeping opponents out of the end zone this year. In practice, like maybe leading up to the season, or even during the weeks here, what challenges does that unit present as a play caller trying to get the ball across the goal line?
Yeah, just my seeing them in games and in practice, they do a great job. They make you earn it. Those corners and are really, really good players, are long, and T-Will and them, they mix it up enough where, give you some zero, give you some zone, that you can't ever get a feel. And, obviously each game's different, but I'm just really impressed with how they operate. The closer you get, the harder it gets, it seems like, to score, and that's the sign of a good defense. And this day and age in college football, sometimes you're going to give up yards, but if you can hold them out of the end zone like we've been doing here lately, then obviously it helps you tremendously, and hopefully we'll continue to do that.
How has your confidence increased in your kicking game, knowing that the drive might, result in a field goal attempt? You feel pretty good about going?
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, Boomer's come in and made some field goals for us, obviously, and he's been a shot in the arm. I tell you, the kickoffs last night were impressive. That's a lot of times hidden yardage, kicking the ball out of the end zone so much. They had a dangerous returner, and I know we wanted to, spray it around, but hopefully kick it out. And I think Riker did a great job of doing that. I think that was impressive. And then the pooch punch, the one we caught in the air, the other one we down to 5, I think. Those are really, really good execution in our special teams, and we spend a lot of time on that. Coach Blackman does a great job with them, and it's important to those kids to go out and do their job. And I know Coach Malzahn, we stress it a lot. Sometimes as the offensive coordinator, I don't sit in to do all that stuff with them, so take it for granted. But they did a great job executing in all the phases last night, and ready for us to break up the return. I know Keith's fired up, ready to do that. We've been close, but really overall, just really impressed with the special teams.
After playing in 5 games for John Rhys as starter, where has he maybe made the most growth or stride? You can practice it all you want, but you're seeing, defenses every week, they may change what you think they're going to do. Where do you think he's improved?
I just think his overall execution of the offense and understanding, why we're doing something, the answers, so to speak, or now they're going to take this away. We got to do this. I think for him, it's just, you know, like I said, it's still somewhat of a learning process because each week, as you mentioned, you see a different defense. And, you know, teams are they understand how dangerous he is. So this, you know, SMU last night, in their mind, they were going to let him pull the ball and run it. And they were going to make us beat him another way. In the second half, we did. And I think for John, it's just continuing to grow as a quarterback and be able to understand, you know, what the defense is doing and what our answers are. And, you know, we got to do a great job of helping him do that. But really, you know, the guy works extremely hard. He studies the game. He's fun to coach. His energy is contagious. I mean, everybody feeds off of him. You can see how excited he gets when we make plays, and there's no ego. He understands. He's the first one to say, hey, you know, I messed this up, or didn't point the finger at anybody, and I'll do this better. And, you know, that's what you want out of your leader.
This is the third time this year that Thomas Castellanos got into the game. What would you say about the evaluation of the limited reps he's gotten against live action? Yeah,
it's probably not fair. Hard to evaluate. The first snap last night was low and left, and he had to go recover it. And then, you know, the second read, they mesh charged him on the zone. So, you know, that's pretty tough as a young quarterback. You come in, they're trying to blow the mesh up, and so just trying to get us out of the game there. Obviously conscious of the 3 games with him so far, but you know, I think it's probably. I know one thing. Every day in practice, he's a really talented guy. The future's really bright, and his time's coming. But you know, the more experience he gets, just getting the signal, communicating to the O-line in a game atmosphere, and making the adjustment and on protection if we need to. The more he gets that, I think that's going to help him down the road.
What do you think about RJ Harvey?
Yeah.
The talents when he gets that perfect blend of like power and speed.
He seems like he's really coming on. You know, when I first got here, he was coming off the knee, so I didn't get to see a lot of that. But you know, he's a big guy. He's strong. He's got good speed. Looks like he's got great vision. He's bounced a couple of zones outside that tells you he's got good vision. So been impressed with him. You know, the 3 backs we played so far, they're all doing a great job. And I know Bowser last night stepped up on a gap pressure and really hit this guy right up under the chin. If y'all remember seeing that, big physical guy. That's why he's going to play for a while. I think the next level, he can pass protect, he can catch it, he can run. He's intelligent. So, but yeah, really like what we're seeing out of RJ.
How important is it to get that first win in conference, a resounding win?
I think it is. I think that's always to get off to a good start in your league is important. And obviously SMU, you know, obviously they had a great team last year, and they got an unbelievably talented group this time too. So, you know, we knew it would be a dogfight. I know things kind of went our way there in the 3rd or 4th quarter, but you know, it was a tight game, and you know, we were able to make a few plays there. We probably played our best half of football, I would say, on offense so far this year. When you really put it all together, and that was good to see. But really good to get off to a good start.
What does it say about your team that it dealt with the adversity of the hurricane and the changes in the schedule that's disruptive to what you try to do?
Probably the maturity. I think it says a lot about how mature our team is. You know, you're right. There was something, sometimes as a coach, you're in that grind every day, come in, watch film, get ready to practice, and you know, you don't realize how many people were affected by the hurricane, their families, people they're friends with. I know a lot of those families were affected, and you know, moving the game twice, really, if you think about it, and obviously on a Wednesday night here. So all those factors, never felt like it was a distraction. Looking back now, it's kind of scary to think about because there was a lot of moving parts there, but our team, I thought, handled it very well, and I think our play showed that last night.
And the fans turned out on a Wednesday.
Yeah, that was the most impressive thing I saw is, you know, the bounce house was still bouncing last night on a Wednesday night after we rescheduled it a couple of times, and I think it says a lot about the passion of our fan base, and I know that's why our players love being here and playing at home is because of the way the people here and our fans appreciate it, and they showed that last night.